Melania Trump has been in the news a lot lately. I was talking about her in the monologue, and she's on the cover of Us Weekly with this cover, my side of the story. The Melania's list. I don't know if you'd like to, but these are her rules. The man who got Trump elected and keeps his base ignorant. The man who killed Australia's carbon tax. I know he's rich, but is it worth Western civilization? You used to be married to Mick Jagger, and now you're married to a guy who looks like Keith Richards let himself go.
Last Friday, Bill Maher looked into the camera and suggested Melania Trump should consider a career as an escape artist. By Saturday morning, the former president was having a complete Truth Social meltdown, demanding apologies and threatening lawsuits. What is it about jokes about Melania that sends Trump into such a rage? Is it because they remind everyone that his own wife seems miserable around him? Or is it because deep down, Trump knows Maher is saying what everyone's thinking? Let's break down why these particular jokes caused such a spectacular presidential temper tantrum. Then, according to what Bill Maher said, Trump is a walking volcano. Maher played on Trump's weaknesses by focusing on his marriage and ego. The cartoon drew a comparison between Melania's life and a prison sentence, effectively saying that she is serving time just for being married to the orange turd. How sweet.
And finally, new rule, Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. But they left out my favorite feature in Us Weekly, which is the 25 things you don't know about me. Do you read about this? Toss his boxy clown suits on the front lawn. Just tell him I'm leaving you and I'm taking our child. He would be stunned. We have a child? You are not to ever again mention the bride catalog's return policy.
Following that, Maher proceeded. He suggested that after Trump is behind bars, Melania should train to hold her breath for long durations, like 90 seconds, and use this skill to her advantage. If you get my meaning, the joke implies that Melania can survive her marriage without scuba gear. These weren't meaningless scribbles on the wall. With complete clarity, Maher knew just which buttons to push. Everything of Trump's persona rests on his capacity to project an image of strength and prosperity, and this includes his marriage to a former model. When comics make it seem like Melania can't stand him, his masculine image is ruined. The audience's reaction made it clear. Some people groaned, but others were laughing so hard they nearly passed out. When you can say, "Oh no, he didn't," while simultaneously laughing out loud, you've hit comedy gold. But the killer blow came in Maher's new rule segment. Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. Oh my, his waning reputation and marital stability were both struck by that one. It never fails that Trump goes ballistic whenever his family is the punchline of a joke. Do you recall how angry he was about SNL for years? Melania jokes, on the other hand, hit a different note. When people criticize Trump's beliefs or hairstyle, he may choose to ignore them, but when someone suggests that his trophy wife secretly hates him, yeah, that's his Achilles heel. What makes it more funny is that Maher knew exactly what was going to happen. In spite of his pretense of not watching the concert, he was aware that Trump would explode at these jokes. The situation is similar to expecting an elephant to step on a landmine. The simplicity of Maher's jokes is part of the strategy's appeal, just the usual fare for late-night comedy. Nonetheless, he was cognizant of the fact that they would creep into Trump's thoughts like amusing worms and multiply until he was compelled to have a public tantrum. Moreover, Trump was not let down. It just took a few minutes of comedy for Maher to turn his over-the-top reaction into days of free attention.
It's not anti-feminist to say that in addition to doing everything men can do intellectually, women also have another power, the power of the ultimatum. So far, over a dozen Republican candidates tried to stop Trump and couldn't. Hillary couldn't, never. Maybe it falls to you now, Melania. You can end this reign of terror, and all you have to do is channel your inner Taylor Swift and walk out the door. Is there anyone left who can check Donald Trump? Yes, Melania.
Trump deliberately stepped into the prearranged trap. Maher received the free publicity and proof that he connected with an audience that comedians crave after Trump's collapse. In response to the jokes airing on Truth Social, Trump went ballistic, suing the platform and demanding an apology. The author of this crazed outburst, whose ratings were in the toilet, alleged that Maher's show was unwatchable and going down the tubes in his outrageous tirade. The part that's most funny, Trump insisted he never watches Maher's show, using all caps like a grandpa who is still learning to type. But then he essentially paraphrased the jokes word for word. Which Donnie diapers are these? It is up to you if you want to watch the show. You can't have it both ways. Being dignified and having a comb over are mutually exclusive.
Your unhappiness is obvious. You despise his creepy little monkey fingers touching your hand. And we got a hold of Melania's. It's not in this magazine, but it's coming out soon. Would you like to hear Melania's 25 things you didn't know about? Because there's another former model who's also married to a super rich Republican monster, Mrs. Rupert Murdoch, Jerry Hall. Jerry, you're married to the man who runs Fox News. You're married to the man who made Brexit happen. Getting men to change their destructive ways by threatening to leave them, humiliate them, or cut them off in bed.
When people started using Number Trump Tantrum Time to insult him instead of support him, Trump's hashtag campaign, which he had intended to launch, collapsed. Many people uploaded videos of his worst public tantrums. It was impossible for the man to organize a procession using only one car. The subject was picked up by media outlets faster than Trump can eat a Big Mac. Every major news network, including CNN, MSNBC, and FOXNEWS, wanted in on this juicy story. All of a sudden, millions of people who hadn't heard Maher's jokes before could hear them over and over again. To finance Maher's advertising campaign, Trump simply tapped into his own ego. Trump has a history of losing his cool when it comes to humor. Remember how he used to get mad at Saturday Night Live sketches? Or the time he just couldn't take it anymore when he was mocked at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Every time Trump gets angry, the comedian delivers a joke and the comedian becomes even more famous. Afterwards, Laura Loomer became involved, much like Trump's attack dog. A $150 million lawsuit was filed against Maher and HBO by her, who she accused of subjecting her to unjustified ridicule. Loomer went so far as to demand an official apology and an appearance on his show. This is the epitome of naivete. The dust had settled and Maher was enjoying some of the best ratings he'd seen in quite some time. It seems that all he needed to boost his viewership was a little help from his beloved punching bag. The fires were being fueled exclusively by Trump's fury. Trump's tantrum has provided Maher with new material for weeks. Ignore Trump and your ratings will skyrocket. That's the golden recipe. Every comedian knows there is the most peculiarly advantageous relationship in entertainment between comedians who make fun of thin-skinned politicians and those politicians. Let me tell you, the Trump-Maher argument is just entertaining. When Trump takes offense to jokes about his wife, he becomes angry and lashes out, which boosts Maher's ratings. It's easy as pie. Trump is still being the worst enemy to himself. A few jokes that he would normally forget within a day became week-long news stories due of his lack of self-control. All his angry posts do is promote comedians for free. People like Maher will keep fishing as long as Trump, who is often irritable, takes the bait. And honestly, so long as it's entertaining to see someone so powerful get so worked up by jokes, we'll keep watching.